Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to welcome everybody, students, friends, families, staff, to celebrate the commencement of the Cambridge class of 2018. Give them a hand. I'd like you to join me in a tradition in instances like this. Take out your cell phone devices, turn them on silent, and put them back into your pockets. Thank you. A couple of other thank yous I need to give out are, number one, to Central Michigan University, who is our authorizer. Also to a group of volunteers that help steer us, the Kensington Woods School Board. As I said, they volunteer their time to come and sit with us a day, a month to help us stay on mission. There's James Smullen, Walt Bungard, Angela Whitman, Nicholas Zurich, and Lindsay Grassman. I'd also like to thank Pinckney Schools for the use of their facilities. Granted, we pay for them. I'd like to thank you, parents, for trusting us with your students. I'd like to thank you, students, for trusting us and allowing us to guide you in your education. And I'd like to thank staff for putting in countless hours to get to exactly the point where we are today. I'd like to mention staff really quickly by name. They may not all be here. I'm reading them off a list because, believe it or not, it's really embarrassing when you forget one of your staff members. It has happened before. We have Ms. Rebecca Brown, Ms. Tracy Brown, Ms. Angela Bussinger, Mr. Ben Cunningham, Mr. Ed Ziava, Mr. Ken Ferguson, Mrs. Charlene Uransky, Mrs. Melinda Leffert, Mrs. Jessie McGonigal Pratt, Mrs. Laura McDermott, Mr. Brigley Mangieri, Ms. Shannon Morton, Mrs. Sean Pullman, Mr. Patrick Witt, Mrs. Michelle Zieglitz, and Ms. Kristen Tenney. Give them a hand, please. Many of you may already be familiar with me. My name is Marcus Unix. I'm the principal of Kensington Woods. As a matter of fact, this is my 6th year as principal of Kensington Woods. Altogether, I have been here for 13 years. I'm a teacher at heart. I love to educate and guide students and watch them grow. And you know, as a teacher, you easily put in 60 plus hours a week, preparing lessons, teaching lessons, preparing and grading practice and assessment, attending staff meetings, professional development, answering student emails, and even worse than that, parent emails. It's tough work, it really is, and there is a really good reason why half of all professionals who start the teaching profession are burned out and quit the teaching profession within 5 years. And as you spend your time as a teacher doing all these things, sometimes you ask yourself, you can't help but ask yourself, am I really making a difference? Is this really worth it? And then we come here, and I look to my left, and I have to tell you, it's absolutely worth it every single time. So give them a hand. Right there in front of you, you have 16 students. They started in a freshman class of 29. Of those original 29, 11 remained and persevered. Many more came, stayed, some quit. I've known some of you for 4 years. Some of you even for 6 years, because we actually have 2 students here who started middle school with us. Some of you I've only known for 1 year. I had the pleasure of watching you grow up and mature right in front of me. And for that, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank your parents and everybody else who was there to support you. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2018. At this time, I would like to ask the Kensington Woods Chamber of Singers to come forward and so come here, would you please?
And now, introduce our keynote speaker, Senior Teresa Lever.
Hello. This evening, our keynote speaker for the class of 2018 is an amazing young leader in our community here in Michigan, Livingston County, and the Diocese of Lansing. Dr. Sarah Hill is a pharmacist with St. John Providence Pharmacy in Lansing. She earned her doctorate of pharmacy from Wayne State University in 2010. Sarah has received many awards, some including the Fred Arnold Public Relations Award and the Distinguished New Pharmacist Practitioner Award. She has been married for 3 years to her husband Jonathan and her 2 young boys, Abraham and Teddy. I have had the pleasure to have heard her speak many times, but she is wise, honest, and true. And it is an absolute pleasure to have her here today. Please welcome Dr. Sarah Hill.
Thank you, Teresa. Congratulations, 2018 class of Kensington Woods. And a special welcome as well to the parents, siblings, grandparents, teachers, and everyone who is here today to celebrate this class. I was so humbled and honored when Mrs. Lever asked me to speak with you today at such an important moment in your lives. Thank you for letting me share this day with you. I have heard what an extraordinary class of young people you are, and I could not be more impressed. You have achieved academic excellence, demonstrated strong work ethic, and most importantly, have been true friends to one another. All of the graduates here today have completed an extensive senior project. For those who may not be familiar with it, each student selects a topic that is important to them, and then over the course of their entire senior year, complete a 20-page in-depth research paper, conduct an interview, do a community service project, and then cap it all off with a 30-minute oral presentation. Graduates, I am sure that this project was challenging, and at times probably a little bit stressful, but know that it is giving you an important set of skills that you will take with you far beyond high school. It has taught you the value of perseverance, determination, and staying on task to meet a deadline. It has shown you how motivating and rewarding it can be to work towards something that you feel passionate about. Another requirement for graduation for these students was acceptance into an institution of higher learning. And this class has demonstrated their excellence not only through their acceptance into these institutions, but also by being offered an astounding $221,000 in scholarships. This class has diverse interests and skills, with graduates headed towards fields such as medicine, marine biology, business, law, fine arts, and the electric trade. These students have worked hard to get to where they are, and they have gotten a solid foundation during their time at Kensington Woods. Now it is up to you to go out into the world and take that knowledge with you. It's hard for me to believe that it's been 14 years since I got my high school diploma, and yet I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. Time is funny like that. As I was contemplating what I wanted to talk about today, it occurred to me that no one likes a long keynote speech, and also that I tend to be a little bit long-winded. So, I want to focus today on 3 short phrases. We're going to talk about being kind, being present, and being brave. Be present. At a momentous time such as this, it's cause for reflecting on where you've been, and also for gazing forward at your bright future. It's important to learn from our past and also to set goals for our future. However, I invite you to be present in this moment. In my life, I have frequently fallen into the habit of always looking forward to the next thing. And when I was growing up, I would look forward to the next school year. One more year and I would be in middle school. One more year and I would be in high school. And then I got into college, and it was just trying to make it to the next semester so that I could finish my prereqs and get into pharmacy school. And it felt like I was always just living my life for the next thing. I would dream of the day when life would slow down and I wouldn't have any more homework. But even after I graduated, life just went faster and faster, and I realized that life was never going to slow down. There would always be demands on my time and my energy, but it was up to me how I decided to respond to those demands. being always focused on what came next. I wasn't able to focus on the beauty and the opportunities of the present moment. And I found that by shifting my focus to trying to truly live in the moment, that I was better able to appreciate the small moments that I would have missed. And also, my day slowed down, and it seemed like my life had actually not gone as fast as it had in the past. As you sit here in your cap and gown, I'm sure that you are looking forward to all that lies ahead. But I invite you to just be present in this moment. Today is a celebration not only of you, but of all the people that helped you to get here. So take a moment to be grateful for the people who helped you study for that big test or gave you the pep talk when you needed it most. The people who sat through your soccer games, no matter how hot, cold, snowy, or rainy it was. And we live in Michigan, so it was probably all four in one game. Take a moment to be grateful for those people. Hug your parents, and spend these next few months spending time with your friends before you head off in separate directions. Be kind. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. This quote by Etta Turner is such a profound one. I'm sure that during the last 18 years you've been asked approximately 946,127 times what you want to be when you grow up. Can you imagine if instead of saying what career you were thinking of, you simply said, I want to be kind? When we are deciding what type of work we want to do, we often think about what we can achieve through that work. You might say, I want to do something that utilizes my talents, or something that makes a difference. But simply by being kind, we can use our talents to make a difference. From what I've been told about this class, you are already a very kind group of young people. During your time together, many of you have faced very difficult situations, but through it all, you've supported one another through these challenges and done your best to relieve the stress of others. Continue to be the compassionate people that you are. Be brave. I can tell that you all have very bright futures ahead of you. But the thing about the future is that it is never entirely known. Some of you are realizing, perhaps for the first time in your life, that you don't know exactly what comes next. And that can feel really scary. You have all worked very hard to get here, and you have undoubtedly faced hurdles doing so. I would like to tell you that the hard part is over, but that's simply not how life goes. There will always be challenges in life, but that's okay, because you can use those challenges to help you grow. Being brave does not mean that you will never experience fear. What it does mean is that you know that there will be obstacles and there will be setbacks, but that you choose to move forward anyway. Have courage as you step into this next chapter of your life. And being brave is not just about the big moments in life, such as this. It's also the small moments that are easy to miss. It is a brave thing to have a live conversation with someone instead of sending that perfectly crafted text message. And believe it or not, it also takes courage to be kind. You never know if that kind gesture will be received with gratitude or with spite. And there's always a risk of people mocking you for standing up for someone that no one else likes. Sometimes things are not going to turn out the way that you expect them to. You might have a picture in your mind of exactly how things are going to go, and then life steps in and turns it completely upside down. But that doesn't mean that you can't live these three concepts. In fact, being present, kind, and brave can help you better adapt to these changing circumstances. Last summer, my family went through a difficult time. My sister and I were both pregnant and excited about welcoming new babies into our family just a few months apart. But when my sister went in for her routine pregnancy ultrasound, we found out that she had a large cancerous tumor on her kidney. She would need to have immediate surgery while being pregnant, which made us so nervous for her and the baby. My baby was positioned in such a way that I would not be able to have a traditional delivery, so I had a C-section scheduled for about a week before my due date. My sister lived out of state, and of course I wanted my parents to be able to be with her for her surgery, but they were also supposed to watch my 1.5-year-old while I was in the hospital having my baby. My sister's surgery ended up being scheduled about 11 days before mine, so my parents decided to drive to Iowa to be with her for her surgery and immediate recovery, and then head back here so that they could watch my son while we were in the hospital. When my parents were about halfway to Iowa, I started having contractions. I held off calling them, hoping that the contractions wouldn't stop, but pretty soon it was clear that my baby was definitely on its way. It also happened to be my husband's birthday, and I knew that after this day, he was always going to share his birthday with our baby, and I wanted him to have one last celebration that was all about him. Needless to say, when after his party I casually mentioned, by the way, I'm in labor, he was a little mad. We then called my parents and told them what was going on, and they of course offered to come back. But I told them to just keep going, that we would be fine. Luckily we had a backup plan in place just in case. During all of this, it would have been very easy to become overwhelmed. There was so much going on, and I was really nervous about having my surgery. But I lived those three concepts by living in the moment and just doing what needed to get done moment by moment, by making sure that my sister and my son and my new baby were being taken care of. I was able to remain brave through what was one of the more difficult days of my life. I was not expecting to go into labor early while my parents were out of state, and I certainly did not expect to be so far along in my labor that when I got to the hospital, they rushed me into surgery before I even signed the consent paperwork. But through it all, I was able to push past the fear and just really embrace and be in the joy of the moment of welcoming my new baby to the world. And 3 months later, my sister was cancer-free and holding her baby as well. Graduates, it takes courage to wake up tomorrow knowing that this chapter of your life is over and that you are stepping into the next one. But you are heading into a world of unimaginable possibilities. Know that you can and you will be the generation that makes such a difference in this world just by being present, by being kind, and by being brave. Congratulations, class of 2018. We are so proud of all that you have accomplished so far, and we can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you. I feel very honored to be recognizing our graduates with you here tonight. This ceremony recognizes the hard work that not only the graduates have put in, but also you out there in the audience, our graduates' families, friends, and peers. It is the combined effort of everyone here tonight, and many more who are not, that get to graduate to this stage. It's a parent's nagging, a study date with friends, a neighbor's help with a tough math problem, a teacher spending time after school, a coach's encouragement, a graduate's persistence through difficult material that gets a student their diploma. As they say, it takes a village. As I said, this evening is for you as much as it is for our graduates. However, this part of the evening is focused a little bit more on them. It's now time to acknowledge the scholarships and awards our graduates have earned. The Kensington Woods class of 2018 students who have graduated with honors are noted in our graduation program that you received when you came in. I would like to give them some special acknowledgement now. Please come forward when your name is called. Abigail B. Teresa Leffert. Jacqueline Hall. Sean Severson. Hannah Thurmond. And Faith Williams. Attending college is something that is talked quite a lot about at K-Woods. We value the importance of higher education, and in fact, it's one of our graduation requirements that seniors apply to at least 3 colleges and be accepted into one. The total amount of college scholarships that the class of 2018 received was over $220,000 this year. This student received scholarships from multiple universities totaling over $112,000. Two universities that she received scholarships from were the College for Creative Studies for $72,000 and Central Michigan University, where she'll be heading in the fall, for $14,500, including the Governor John Engler Center for Charter Schools Scholarship, which is only awarded to one student from a CMU charter school, Teresa Leffert. Our next student received an $18,000 Academic Excellence Scholarship from Central Michigan University, Tempest Streetman. Received $40,000 in scholarships from 6 different universities, including a $24,000 scholarship to Central Michigan University, Sean Severson. Receiving a $12,000 academic scholarship from Coastal Carolina University, Hunter Britton. Our next student received a $30,000 Art Entrepreneurial Scholarship from Northwood University, where she plans on attending in the fall, Chloe Ward. This next award is a special one for us because it's one that comes directly from the staff and faculty at Kensington Woods. As some of you may know, generally Cape Woods teachers wear professional dress and generally don't wear jeans. However, we made an exception to the rule. Faculty and staff could wear jeans if they donated a small contribution to a special fund. This fund, which this year came to a total of $450, would then be awarded to a senior who, like the denim we wear on every Friday, is hardworking, reliable, and tough. This year's recipient is someone who works hard and because of that hard work has overcome many obstacles and found success in their academics. They are caring and always tries their best to bring a smile to everyone's face, and I am proud to be a personal recipient of that gift. I know they will be an amazing gift to the young children they plan on teaching in the future. This year's Kensington Woods Merit Award goes to Mary Rooney. The next two students are being recognized as members of National Honor Society, Teresa Leffert and Tempest Streetman. Also being recognized as a member of National Art Honor Society is Teresa Leffert. You may have seen her featured on Channel 7's Brightest and Best, Jacqueline. Jacqueline is also receiving the award for excellence in mathematics. The award for excellence in science, Abigail B. The award for excellence in English, Faith Williams. Faith is also receiving Excellence in Social Studies and Excellence in Visual Arts, Teresa Leppard. Receiving our first ever Music Recognition Awards are two seniors that you will have the pleasure of hearing a duet from later this evening. Receiving the John Philip Sousa Award, Hannah Thurmond. And receiving the National School Choral Award, Abigail B. The Congressional Merit is an award that is given by our Congressman, Mike Bishop. His office asks that schools nominate an individual that they believe should be recognized for their exemplary citizenship and academic excellence. Sometimes it's hard for us as a staff to agree upon one person, but this year, hands down, we all agreed on Faith Williams. We also wanted to recognize students who dedicated themselves to their college education even before they were required to. At Kensington Woods, we offer students who are academically ready the opportunity to dual enroll, which means they attend college classes while still attending their high school classes. It's a hard thing to balance, high school, college, life, and for some of them, work as well. These students are all taking anywhere from 6 to 20 college credits with them to college next year. We would like to recognize the following students for their achievement in higher education. Teresa Leppard. Jacqueline Palmer. Tempest Streetman. And Sean Smith. At Kensington Woods, we focus on building whole students who are not just academically prepared, but also ones who demonstrate good character, respect for others, and work to make the world a better place. We sit down regularly as a staff and discuss students not only for their academic achievements, but for their character strengths, and are pleased to recognize the following students for their outstanding character. The first award recognizes the student with grit. What grit, you may ask? As a staff, we define that as a quality where someone is willing to dive in and get things done, no matter what obstacles they may face. This student is new to us this year at K-Woods, but has impressed the entire faculty with her grit. Receiving the Grit Award, Mary Rooney. A dark horse is defined as someone whom little is known about, but unexpectedly wins and succeeds. This next award recognizes a student who is quiet and often flies under the radar, but is always successful and has some amazing hidden talents, including writing, that are not often seen by the general public. Receiving the Dark Horse Award is Hunter Britton. The next award goes to someone who always represents the epitome of respect, steadiness, dedication, experience, and professionalism, way beyond her years. She has represented the school in this manner on many fronts, including as our class president, in the courts with mock trial, and at the Capitol as the recipient of the Congressional Medal of Merit. Receiving the Professionalism Award, Faith Williams. flexible were used to define this next student. A student who can dive into any task and genre and be successful and will rise to the challenge no matter what new experiences are thrown at her. Receiving the Renaissance Woman Award is Hannah Thurmond. The Kenny Award recognizes someone we consider a symbol of our school in the same way that a mascot symbolizes our school. Someone who embodies the K-Woods difference, school spirit, caring, and respect for others. This year's recipient has represented our school well to the outside community as well as the internal K-Woods community since joining our school as a 7th grader. They always display a positive, thoughtful attitude and are ready and willing to help out in any way, whether it be getting everyone pumped up for an event, helping a student in need, or raising money for those less fortunate. She is also an integral member of our Leadership National Honor Society and National Art Honor Society organizations. This year's Kenny Award goes to Teresa Leffert. The last 2 awards belong to our top 2 scholars, the valedictorian and the salutatorian. Our salutatorian will be attending Central Michigan University next year to study visual arts education. Please help me congratulate this year's salutatorian, Teresa Leffert. And now for our highest academic honor, valedictorian. Our valedictorian will be attending University of Michigan to study German and chemistry on a pre-med track. This year's class of 2018 valedictorian, Jacqueline Cohen.
Okay, I'm not good at this. Good evening to the Kensington Woods graduating class of 2018, as well as their friends, families, and the staff of Kensington Woods Schools. Thank you so very much for being here. Well, we've made it. After 4 years, all of our hard work has paid off. As a class, we are able to stand here on this stage and finally receive our high school diplomas. As a class, we have seen each other at our highest points of elation and our lowest points of despair. As a class, we have conquered every single obstacle which has been laid out in front of each of us, each new challenge seeming more daunting than the first. We are able to be here today because, against all odds, we have overcome thousands upon thousands of difficulties. I want everyone here to be proud of their accomplishment, as getting through high school is no small feat. There are a lot of obstacles which face our generation. The world we live one. Oh my God, okay. Sorry. We are faced with a rapidly changing climate, the epidemic of violent crime, a decreased average lifespan, acts of discrimination, and political polarization. It seems that we cannot even turn on the news without accusations of the news itself being fake. Still, I know that if anyone is best suited to tackle these problems, it's our generation. We are inventive, eager to learn, and determined. We are not willing to ignore the problems which face us. We desire change, and we will not rest until that change has occurred. We are the future of this world, and I have never before been filled with so much hope that progress will be made. We have all had ups and downs, and we will continue to have our ups and downs. There was a time I realized I needed to find inspiration somewhere. It was around this time that I found some old, obnoxiously long book in which the author cared more about detailing the history of the Parisian sewer system than he did. I'm sorry. Than he did about actually giving first names to half of the characters. Within that book, there was a passage which, back then, gave me some hope that my situation would improve, and which still gives me hope today. that the future holds many wonderful things. I would like to share that with you now. There will be nothing more like the history of old. We shall no longer, as today, have to fear a conquest, an invasion, an usurpation, a rivalry of nations, arms in hand, a combat of two religions meeting face to face, like two bucks in the dark, on the bridge of the infinite. We shall no longer have to fear famine, farming out, misery from the failure of work and the scaffold and the sword, and the battles and the Rufianism of chance in the forest of events. One might almost say there will be no more events. We shall be happy. The human race will accomplish its law as the terrestrial globe accomplishes its law. Harmony will be reestablished between the soul and the star. The soul will gravitate around the truth as the planet around the light. Friends, the present hour in which I am addressing you is a gloomy hour. The human race will be delivered, consoled. I would like to thank my parents, grandparents, younger sister, aunts, uncles, and cousins for supporting me. I would like to thank my teachers for giving me the education needed to be accepted by the University of Michigan, and once more, I would like to thank everyone here with us tonight. Congratulations, class of 2018. Go out and change the world.
And now for a salutatorian address, Teresa Levin.
Hello, good evening. I am Teresa Lever, and I have been a student at Kensington Woods for 6 years. Throughout my experiences here, we have all done a lot of really cool and exciting things, and we have learned a lot throughout this school. No matter what path we have followed to get here today, we have all worked so hard to get here wearing these caps and these gowns. We have all worked and earned our place on the stage, but these staff members at Kensington Woods each taught us something specific, like a specific value to our life. Mr. Munitz, the principal of Kensington Woods, taught us the value of hard work. He taught us to never give up in times of trouble, and taught us about integrity and honesty. Mrs. Pullman, our esteemed senior advisor and math teacher, taught us the value of organization and perseverance, but she also taught us the value of love and compassion in our lives. Mrs. Pratt, our beloved art teacher, taught us to look closer at everything in life. She taught us that there are two sides to every story, and that empathy and positivity can bring a happiness to your life that you could never imagine. I could continue on for hours about every single one of these people, but there is one ideal that every single one of our teachers and staff members share: empathy. The ability to walk a mile in someone else's shoes. To be able to try and understand the position that someone else is in. That is crucial to building emotional intelligence. Being able to look at someone else's point of view can help you understand someone's motives and feelings. It can help you see the other side of the story. Organization and hard work can help you get these places, but empathy and understanding will open your eyes to the unexpected and beautiful things in life. Graduates, as you go forth from the stage, to college, to trades, and to families, always remember the values that your parents and your teachers taught you, but also remember to keep true to yourself. Life isn't all about finding your soulmate or working your dream job or having the best day ever. It's also about having fun and going on adventures, laughing, singing, and crying. Life is what you make it. I encourage you all to be positive. Be empathetic. Be adventurous. Laugh at your own jokes. Make puns. Learn about something new. Explore. Have adventures. Love like a hippie and shine like the sun, because you only live once. Graduates, families, and loved ones, I am so happy to be able to share these things with you. I know all of us have dreamed of this moment, and we worked our tails off to get here. Now, it's time to go on and build new dreams. Thank you.
I know you guys have been waiting for this. Conferring of diplomas. If I could have Mr. Etziora come up here, please, to help me. And I'll do the diplomas. Miss Abby Bean.
First off, I'd really like to say that I don't know where I'd be without this school. I transferred out of Howell High School about mid-year, freshman year, and I've been at Kensington Woods for 3.5 years, but it's felt like an entire lifetime. I've built so many connections, I've learned so many life lessons, more than I ever learned in my time at Howell, Heartland, and all of the other schools that I tried to do. And this one was the right fit for me. I love this class. Honestly, I couldn't ask for a better class of people. We've been through so many ups and downs, but we all made it together. I would also like to thank my parents, especially my family, and just my friends and everyone that's supported me throughout my entire life, throughout my entire high school career. And we're really all in this together, gang. Thank you.
Mr. Hunter Griffin. Ms. Sydney Jones. Ms. Ashley Kiesler. Ms. Teresa Leffert.
I have so many people to thank. I cannot even begin to list them, but I would really like to thank my mom and my dad and my older brother for helping me get through school and helping me get through life. Also, I'd like to thank all the people that have helped me grow in my faith and grow in my life in general. And I would also like to thank Mara Magrossi and Jesse Pratt for helping me and inspiring me through my art and through my academics. Thank you.
Ms. Kennedy O'Connell. Ms. Jacqueline Boma. Miss Mary Rooney.
Mom, Dad, I did it! I just want to thank everyone who helped me get to this point, and I want to thank all the teachers, but I want to thank two teachers in particular, Mrs. Pullman and Ms. Pratt, just for helping me throughout
Without Kensington Woods, I probably would have been a dropout. Yeah, but I am going to college now. I'm successful. Thank you.
Mr. Nolan Shelby.
I have too many people to thank too. My parents, my family, just everybody who's been there for me. There was times I didn't think that this would be happening, but it did. So thank you.
Miss Tempest Streetman.
First off, I want to thank Miss Pratt this morning because without them, I probably wouldn't be standing here. I also want to thank Miss Julie Wardlow for being here. She was my kindergarten through second grade teacher, so she kind of started everything. And my family also, just for being here and not punching me in the face when I'm a jerk. So yeah, and thanks to my class for not giving up and being here with me. So yeah.
Mr. Sean Severson. Mr. Emmett Turners.
Good job, good job.
Miss Hannah Thurman.
This year has been very difficult for me. There were several moments where I didn't know if I would make it through standing here. One of them occurred this morning. There are several people in my life who helped me get through that, and first and foremost are my parents. They've been with me through thick and thin. The staff at K-Woods has always been on my back. Even just a hello in the hallway as I'm passing. They've always been really great and really supportive to all of their students, and just thank you to everyone who has helped me get to this point.
Miss Chloe Ward.
Okay, anyways, I would like to thank my parents and all my family who came out
has really been there for me, even if I didn't want it to be. But, yeah. All right, well, I'm not really one for yelling, so I just want to thank my parents, and also I want to give a special thank you to Miss Pratt and Mr. Ferguson for being like my school parents. They're the best.
Miss Faith Williams.
Okay, so first and foremost, I'm super thankful to be here, and I'd like to thank my mom, who I wouldn't be here without for both biological reasons and for her endless love and support. I would like to thank my stepdad for being my dad and for his great jokes and movie drops to get me through these 4 years. I'd like to thank my family for coming here for hundreds of miles or just driving down the street to see me today, and for loving me, believing in me, and giving me great stories to tell all my friends. And I'd like to thank the reason we're here today, my K Woods family, both my staff and peers, who have made these past 4 years absolutely amazing. Thank you all.
Is this on?
All right. To give this year's parent address, we have someone who knows Kensington Woods incredibly well. She's been a parent here for 6 years with alumni Trevor and graduate Teresa here tonight. Not only did she enroll her children in Kensington Woods, she became a member of the K Woods family and faculty herself a few years ago as an invaluable administrative assistant and friend to us all. It is my honor to introduce Melinda Leffer.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, class of 2018, for asking me to be your parent speaker this evening. I know I work here and I see you guys everywhere. I have tried to research the perfect thing to say this evening, but I know that I will come up short. So here we go. First off, let us take a moment to thank all of your parents, family, and friends who have supported and guided you through your schooling. Let's also take a minute to thank all of your teachers for all of their patience and support as well. Now, before I get all mushy and reflective, let's take a moment to look back at the last 4 years, some of you 6 years, and how many graduates can say these things about your time at high school. How many of you got to say, I got a chance to scuba dive with Miss Brown? How many of you can say that they had a teacher that can jump onto a table from a standing position? How many other graduates in the area can say, your math teachers have stayed after school with me to make sure that we understood our concepts? For your old timers, Emily and Teresa, you guys have been here since middle school, and you can recall the fun from the Battle of Gettysburg. How many got to say they also got to go to Cedar Point? And can we all say Barbie Bungee with Miss Pullman? Romeo and Juliet. And for some of you also got to be in Julius Caesar, which also had a splash zone from the fake blood, as you can tell. Also, we have 6 words of duct taping Ferguson to a wall. Okay, I found some great photos, guys. Some of you also got to help Mr. Cunningham start a music program and participate in the first ever Charter School Festival of Choirs. And of course, you guys, the Senior X, your year-long, hard, painstaking, 15, 20-page paper, whatever it is, and a 30-minute presentation. You guys survived that, and I know it was stressful, but you did it, you survived, right? And also, my final slide of the evening, which is my favorite, also had a principal that is a ninja. And you also got him to wear a neon green squid hat and your senior picnic. Now that I'm done reflecting on the fun things, let me start out by giving you a few words of wisdom that I know will take you far in life. Each person is given many virtues, and I want to touch base on just a few of these things. Charity. Take a moment out of each day to give of yourself, to help others when they're down, to do community service. Think beyond what does this do for me, and just reach out and help. Your service will never be forgotten. Diligence means to be persistent, move forward in life to succeed, work hard and beat the odds, as I know many of you have done. Patience, to have forgiveness and mercy towards others. Remember to forgive, and that sometimes others are going through something that you may not know about. Be patient with them. Kindness, have compassion for others. Listen to what others have to say. Don't judge. Don't speak. Just listen. Don't look down on anyone unless you are helping them up. Here are a few final tips I have for you before you launch into this world and leave Haywoods. Even in the most challenging times, never forget that you have the voice and the power to change things. If you aren't yet, you will soon be of voting age, so vote wisely. The longest distance between 2 points is the shortcut. Wanting something now means that you will probably pay later. Be willing to work hard, get dirty, and have blisters. Also be brave enough to say I'm sorry, or I love you, and I forgive you. Only spend what you have. Being broke in college or anywhere after high school is a rite of passage. Celebrate with ramen noodles and dorm food. We've all done it. One day you will look back and smile on these days. Success is not measured by your job, your education, or how much money you have, or what kind of car you drive. Success is determined by who you are, how you treat others, and how you lead your life. Show gratitude to all of those people who have gotten you to where you are today. Don't look down on anyone unless you're there to help them up. Confidence, combined with passion to make the world a better place, can be a very positive force. Surround yourself with people who remind you of just how amazing you are, and avoid the ones who don't. Life doesn't always follow the plans you have made out for yourself. Be prepared for the highs and the lows. Celebrate the highs and never forget to ask for help when you are having your lows. Remember, there is no place like home. Never forget that you always have a place at home. Even if your sister takes over your closet, or your mom finally gets your office. Oh yeah, it's mine. These are just a few of these virtues and tips that can take you with you through your life. Always remember that everybody has a story, everyone has a path. Someone else's success should be celebrated, but your successes are important too. I could not express that enough. You are important. You guys, you are important. Don't let others tell you what you can and can't do. See those stars up there? Well, there's no really stars, so let's. You can reach them. Don't worry about the person next to you. They're reaching their own set of stars. Well, the doors of Kensington Woods will close behind you. Be assured of one thing. We will always be here for you. And that we, the parents and the families of the Kensington Woods Schools class of 2018, are proud of who you are, and we're excited to see you venture out into the world. Let me close with this quote from Barbara Bush during her commencement address at Wellesley College. At the end of your life, you will never regret not having passed one more test, not winning one more verdict, or not closing one more deal. You will regret time not spending with a husband, a child, a friend, or a parent. Congratulations, class of 2018.
Our graduates Abigail Bean and Hannah Thurman to sing For Good by Stephen Schwartz with accompanist Desmond Shepard.
Stories end.
as she likes to joke, has been a member of the Cape Woods community the longest. Sean Coleman, by definition, is a math teacher, but she is really so much more. Behind the scenes, she runs senior advisory, prepares SAT prep, analyzes student data, organizes project term and advisory. But most importantly, she loves our students and works incredibly hard to find them success in their academics and in their life. With all this glowing positive attitude and a smile constantly on her face, it is my honor to introduce Sean Coleman.
Good evening, seniors, parents, families, and friends. I would like to say thank you to the senior class of 2018 for their invitation to speak at this evening's ceremony. I am truly honored to be given this opportunity to share a few thoughts with you. If I'm being totally honest, I didn't officially start typing my speech until last night. But over the last few weeks, I would often think about things I'd like to say in my speech, especially while I was running. So I apologize if my thoughts seem to go in different directions at times. I'm just going to blame that on the endorphins that come along from the runner's high. Parents, if this is your first child to graduate, I was in your shoes for the first time just a few years ago, and this is your milestone too. My seniors have heard my mom's stories on more than one occasion, and I always give them my honest perspective on how emotional it can be to be a mom of a senior. This year, my lines between school and home have been blurred more than ever. My youngest daughter is also a senior this year and will graduate tomorrow evening. Let me share with all of you that this year did not go quite as planned, and my students definitely gave me insight to make me a better mom, and in return, my youngest daughter made me a better teacher. If there are parents out there who are breathing a sigh of relief that their child made it to graduation this evening, my heart is with you. And this year, I have gained a whole new insight into how tricky the path to graduation can be. These seniors gave me strength and support when my family needed it most. Whether your child will be commuting from home, moving across the state or the country, or entering the world of work, I wish you all the best during this time of transition. I have the honor of being the teacher speaker at a few graduations now, and I know from experience that this speech is the last one in the lineup. By this point in the ceremony, you have been showered with inspiring words of wisdom and great advice from several speakers. So, instead of offering you more advice, I'm going to talk from the heart and share some insights about the class of 2018. To start with, I have to share a behind-the-scenes phrase that has really come to define the class of 2018. That phrase is senior survivor. This year didn't go exactly as expected, and unfortunately, we don't have the same number of seniors on the stage tonight as we did on the first day of school. Kensington Woods has extremely high expectations for its seniors, including Senior X, the Senior Play, and Senior Advisory, where all seniors must complete service hours and receive an acceptance letter to college. All of you are here because you met those expectations. You made it. You are the survivors, and you're stronger because of those experiences. Some other words that define the class of 2018 are spirit, heart, and family. This school year, Cape Woods developed a time designated for class meetings that met on alternating Fridays throughout the year. During that time, we shared positive thoughts, weekend updates, concerns, and just chatted about life. There was such a positive energy with this group of seniors that soon these meetings became entirely student-run. They planned special events for Secret Santa, designed senior spirit wear, and they had such enthusiasm sharing pictures of their pets during our show and tell class meeting. They even made a Google document so that they could share information with each other to invite all of their classmates to graduation parties. I have never seen such an inclusive and caring class in all the years I have worked at Cape Woods. They sincerely felt like family to me. Typically, at the end of the school year, the staff really is ready to get rid of the seniors. But that whole senior attitude thing never happened with this group. I truly don't want them to leave. One of the most touching moments of my teaching career took place with this senior class. When they got word that Mr. Ed's wife was facing health challenges, they immediately took action. And just to give you a little perspective, I collect a lot of things in my role at K Woods. Collecting homework, that can be a little bit hit or miss at times. Collecting permission slips for various school trips, I give several reminders day after day and still have students turn them in at the very last minute. But collecting donations for Mr. Ed, that was amazing. I made one post in Google Classroom and everyone brought in something the very next day. No reminders needed. It was incredible. It truly made my heart melt. Ed, you touch lives every day, and it is an honor to have you here celebrating graduation with us. At this time, Are we good? All right. At this time, I would like to take a moment to recognize our seniors for the way that they have touched me in Kensington Woods over the years. And yes, I'm going to say a few words about each and every one of you. Mary, you are a great addition to the senior class this year. Thank you for your honesty and for your genuine care and concern. Your FLOC visits and words of comfort gave me so much support. And on a lighter note, congrats for solving all of the Math Starter bonus questions week after week after week. Emily, it's been enjoyable watching you grow up at K Woods as one of our original 7th graders. You've always been friendly, confident, and outgoing, and you have definitely left your creative mark on K Woods, from AP Art to Poetry Out Loud to Creative Media. And just for the record, I really did appreciate your text offer to pick up some baby on your way to school. As teachers, we don't always get a lot of feedback from students about our classes, especially if they tend to be relatively low-key and quiet students. That thought leads me to my next student, Hunter. Hunter started with me as a freshman in Algebra 2 and has always been a bright student in math, but he pretty much did what he needed to do and didn't speak out much in class. Then, last August, I got an email message from him expressing interest to be a TA in my Advanced Algebra 2 trade class. He said it was his favorite class that he had ever taken and he would love to be a TA for me. The words favorite class and trade are not often found in the same sentence, so I can tell you that message made the end of my summer. And words can't thank you enough for being an awesome TA for us this year. Sydney, you may not realize this, but at the beginning of this year, you taught me a lesson about vulnerability, and to this day, I try to be more reflective on my interactions with students. Thank you for your honesty in that moment. And on a lighter note, thank you for your patience with me when I may have attacked you on more than one occasion for having your phone when you were actually using an Inspire calculator. Another teaching moment for me. Ashley, you have shown so much growth this year, and you definitely win the Persistence Award in math. You met the challenges of senior year with patience and a quiet confidence that grew stronger as the year went on. One of my favorite memories from prom this year was seeing your smile on the dance floor. Emmett, I will always have fond memories of you sitting in the front row of Algebra 2 with such an eagerness to learn. I really miss not having you in class this year, but it's been great to have you back for some of the senior highlights like prom, Senior X, and now graduation. And as a bonus, I look forward to having you in fitness and outdoor sports for the next couple of weeks. Chloe, I'm so happy that we had the chance to connect in Project Term Fitness class before I officially became your math teacher, because it gave me a chance to get to know you closer. I like that you feel comfortable with me, and I remember sitting in my church parking lot on Mother's Day morning when I got a text from you that said, Happy Mother's Day. Just know that those little things really do mean a lot. Without a doubt, you made a huge transition from Algebra 2 to Advanced Algebra 2 Trade, and truly became one of my hardest workers and highest achieving students. Best wishes at Northwood University. Jacqueline, I had the honor of having you in class since 9th grade as a freshman in Algebra 2. Although I missed not having you in class this year, it was fun to see you stop by most days and chat with friends before C-Block. I enjoyed getting your updates in AP Calculus. I'll be thinking of you this fall at U of M, and maybe I'll even see you at one of the football games. Go Blue. Faith, I was so fortunate to get to spend almost 3 hours a day with you every day. I truly loved every minute of it. Your positive energy and enthusiasm is simply contagious, and I'm not sure how I'm going to start class meetings next year without you. And how many students can say they have a picture of their student with Joe from Impractical Jokers? Nolan. Nolan definitely deserves a Senior Spirit Award. This year, he took the initiative of designing the senior t-shirts, and during Spirit Week, he made sure to bring in plenty of Hawaiian shirts so the seniors could be the most tropical class. When the group talked about getting a little gift for Mr. Ed, Nolan made sure to pick up something from Mr. Ed's favorite team, the Michigan Wolverines. Keep that spirit and zest for life, because it will serve you well in the future. Abby, wow, this girl has some pipes. I will never forget the way you sang in Kaywood's first Garage Band performance, and I can't wait to see you perform again this year. And what an honor to see you perform tonight. Thank you for being such a hardworking student and such a kind person. I appreciate the Snoopy souvenir from Cedar Point, and it will always serve as a reminder to me of you and your wonderful class. Hannah, you have so many talents. Whether it's music, art, or solving math bonus questions, I love your passion. I also found it very touching that every day in class, you would take the time to say goodbye. It was almost as if you were thanking me for teaching you a little bit of math each day. Kennedy, I will always treasure getting to know you in fitness class and then spending quality time with you on Wednesday afternoons. You make me laugh with your stories, and you always impress me with your willingness to put in extra time to master material. Working hard and a sense of humor are both important qualities to carry into the future. Teresa, you are another senior I have enjoyed watching since 7th grade. Everyone told me what a dream you were, and you were every bit the dream student they said you would be. Your work ethic, your passion, and your spirit will be missed. Thank you for making every day special, and even making a point to bring in pie on Pie Day. Sean, last year during Project Term Open House, I had the honor of listening to your independent study presentation on human biodiversity. I felt like I was sitting in front of a graduate-level college student because your research was so thorough and advanced. I wish you the best in your future studies, and I know you will discover great things. Tempest, no matter what season of the year it was, you were always working on some event to make K-Woods a better place. Your involvement in student council and leadership meant that there was always something to look forward to. One day you made a sign for my room with the mathematics summation symbol, and that became our motto for junior year SAT prep. Somehow, we're gonna do it. And the class of 2018 did it. This class was ranked among the top of schools of Livingston County as far as the percentage of students meeting college readiness benchmarks. They are smart, and they have the best heart. They are the winning combination. In closing, I just want to leave you with 3 words: mind, body, and spirit. Take care of your mind. Always be willing to learn new things. Take care of your body. Eat healthy foods, exercise, and get enough sleep. Take care of your spirit. Your spiritual journeys may all look very different, but it's important to know that you're part of something bigger in this world. Parents, thank you so much for allowing us to share in this amazing journey with your children. Best wishes and congratulations, class of 2018.
And now to announce your class of 2018, Jacqueline Poma.
Congratulations, class of 2018. It's time to flip your tassels. Well, we did it.
gentlemen, concludes our commencement address for the class of 2018. Feel free to stay around, chat a little while. We've got cake and coffee in the hallway. Drive safe and enjoy the rest of your night.